I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my humility and practice of keeping and so forth, may I become a Buddha advent for all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my humility and practice of keeping and so forth, may I become a Buddha advent for all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my humility and practice of keeping and so forth, may I become a Buddha advent for all sentient beings. Sanje Joda Zoge Chonamdo Chanju Padu Tane Gyatsuchi Nage Jinso Gebe Sonamge Dola Penge Sange Dubara Sho Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam Chanju Padu Tane Gyatsuchi Nage Jinso Gebe Sonamge Dola Penge Sange Dubara Sho Sanje Joda Soge Shonanda Chanju Padu Dani Gyapsuchi Dage Jinso Gebe Sonanje Dola Penje Sanje Dubara Esho Om Ye Dharma Eto Prabhavam Etum Te Shamdata Gato Yavatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahāshrama Om Ye Dharma Etu Prabhavam Etum Tesham Latagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahas Om Etu Prabhavam Etum Tesham Datagato Yavata Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramana Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, so this morning we were discussing the selfishness, the opposite of the bodhicitta, is of two kinds, gross and the subtle. This is what we discussed. And we discussed this great length as to how the selfishness, the gross one, of course, anybody can identify that as very selfish, very bad. And the subtle one, conventionally, people may find it's okay. It's okay with the culture of individualism. Culture of individualism, this is quite predominantly the case. And finally the point is that we have to check to ourselves, and we go through some trend or the culture which slowly spreads across in the region, and with generations the culture can change. So this culture, sometimes with the culture of individualism, there's a sense of this very strong sense of I, and maybe being oblivious to others. Whereas a culture where you say I am more important than you, this is almost like it's discouraged anywhere, because the moment this attitude is there, we tend to just go against the laws very easily. Go against the law, the civil laws, the national law, the laws of the countries. For example, like killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, all these things happen because of having a sense of I'm more important than others. So this is something everybody, whether in the religious sense or in the civil sense, both are secular sense, both would discuss that. So now about the self-centered attitude with respect to subtle one. This is something which we really need to think of and say, if, of course, wherever you go, in the world we see very good people everywhere in the world, every religion. In any religion, you see very good people are there. For example, I personally have very good friends among the Hindus, I have very good friends among the Muslims, and the Jains are very good friends, and the Christians also, Christians and Jews are many good friends in Israel. So we see that and I see really very very good people are there in the different religions. So non-believers, very good people are there. Good people born anywhere. Naughty people also there everywhere. This is reality. So we have to acknowledge the reality. With this in mind, then we have to really reconsider your mindset. That finally I want, and keep in mind that Charles Darwin never talked about the hidden treasure. Keep this in mind. For Charles Darwin, it's just the physiological body, that's it. This body, which is a very complex human body, it evolved within a span of since 4 billion years. It evolved like this, and for him, this is it. And the human species, the purpose of species is to continue, and it's nothing to do with your hidden treasure. For him, these emotions, basic emotions like attachment, anger, jealousy, fear, and so forth, these are instincts. Number one, instincts. Number two, we require them for survival, for him, according to him. So when it's going to Buddha, no, this is because the Buddha spoke at length about the psyche, about the mind. But Charles Darwin spoke at length about the body, how the body evolved. And Buddha spoke at length about your mind, the ease, the happiness, the suffering, miseries, and the freedom from the miseries, about the mind. So therefore, we really need to think of this. And if you feel that, okay, I do have this Buddha nature, I do have the seed of awakening. Everybody has a seed of awakening. Everybody has a hidden treasure. If you realize this, then your perspective of the world will change. You can become somebody who can really make a difference in the world. In the first place, difference to yourself. That you become a very happy, calm person, very stable, grounded person. And then through this, your family members can see that you are changing. You become extremely grounded and compassionate. And then you can make a difference in the community. And then gradually, you can include that in form of your very powerful aspiration to life after life to benefit other beings. So in the Tibetan tradition, there's what is known as the beings who deliberately take birth to benefit the beings, the Bodhisattvas. And the Buddhas, of course, they don't have to, it's automatically happening in the infinite forms. They're helping the benefit the beings. Okay, with this in mind, going back to our main point, the 9 steps. What is the first step? Quick. Equalizing self and others. Number 2, reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself. Number 3, reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. Number 4, taking suffering from others with emphasis on compassion. Number 5, giving happiness to others with emphasis on loving kindness. Number 6, actual exchange of self and others. Number 7, special recollection of the kindness of others. Number 8, altruism. Number 9, Bodhicitta. Very good. Okay. Now so what I'll share with you is that these are the points that we need to remember. The self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. Self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. This morning I said that it's very important for us to distinguish these 2 things. So now let me give you some metaphor and try to understand this, and you also discuss in the group discussion. That for example, say, how many of you like to go in the shopping malls? Shopping malls? Window shopping is also fun, not necessarily to buy something. 1, 2, yeah. Okay, so say that, just imagine that what is the metaphor for the self-grasping and self-centered attitude. First, in your dream,
in your dream, you'll see that. But how many of you have seen that there was once upon a time there was open land, and gradually it became a shopping mall? Makes sense? How many do you know that? Shopping mall. Once upon a time it was a barren land, no, nothing there, and suddenly big shopping mall came. Makes sense? Okay, so in your dream, you fall asleep, and in a dream, and then the sleep is the one which creates the dream, of a big shopping mall. In the dream, big shopping mall. So your ignorance creates the shopping mall. Self-grasping ignorance creates the shopping mall. Then somebody should come to do the shopping. Self-centered attitude comes to buy the shopping, to do the shopping. Self-grasping ignorance creates the shopping mall. Self-centered attitude comes to do the shopping. You dreamt of that, Sharon? You dreamt of that, right? So God, the shopping mall. There's no shopping mall. It's your mental creation. Self-grasping ignorance created that. The ignorance created that. And then you go to the shopping. Oh, Gucci. What else? Louis Vuitton, Chanel, right? Oh, so you go to the shop. So that is who created all the diversity is by the self-grasping ignorance. And who go to choose, this is good, this is bad. Who's saying this? Self-centered attitude saying this. You're getting it? Okay, and then they say, for example, say, imagine that you are a little girl or little boy, and your mother takes you shopping mall, and your mother is showing all the, say, local shirts, local things. You said, no, this is, I don't like this. I don't, color is not. Actually, I've seen the Chanel one there or Gucci there. Your mother is also showing the simple ones. You're getting it? And then your mind already saw something there, and whatever your mother shows, this is, you don't like it. And finally, mother says, okay, next, then it will come next time. Then you take it. But your mind is pulled by the Gucci. Yes? And by the time you leave the shopping mall, your mind says, you still want to go there, go back. This involuntary pull. You getting it? Okay. So self-grasping ignorance, which creates the diversity of the world, and self-centered attitude goes to do the shopping. Select. So therefore, self-grasping ignorance alone will not really do any destructive things like the, say, killing, stealing, and so forth. So all these things are done when the self-centered attitude kicks in. When that kicks in, then what the self-grasping ignorance created. Say for example, what is this? You use a flower, but it's actually full of atoms. You agree? But self-grasping ignorance gives you an impression this is a flower. And then the inappropriate attention says, this beautiful flower. And then your self-centered attitude comes, yes, I like it. You're getting it? Do you see the difference? This is something that we have to work on to check how the self-grasping ignorance creates the illusions, and self-centered attitude go there to say that, to express likeness or disliking. Okay, so this is one thing. Let's not forget it. This is a very important thing. And then the, okay, by thinking so, if you, out of 10,000, we don't have 10,000 people here, 1 out of 10,000 may feel that, oh, that's very true. And then your mind may get a little disoriented. Oh, then what is the function of the world? You may feel a little lost here and there. This is because you suddenly jump to experience the emptiness. Sudden jump. When the sudden jump happens, it can make you a little disturbed. Say from deep inside, you'll be shaken. But 1 out of 10,000, don't worry. If you're that person, you are very lucky. Right? Don't worry. If it so happens that you are the one, make sure that when the severe disturbance, if it happens, make sure that otherwise, for most of the people, this is going to be extremely healing awakening. Healing awakening. It can really make you feel that, wow, what I'm doing, all these things are so meaningless. You can see they're so trivial, so meaningless, and you start to do something more meaningful. Whereas 1 out of 10,000, if disturbance is quite severe, then I would say that you have to meet your teacher, you have to meet somebody around your place. But I would say that try to, for example, the Israelis, you must be connected with the Dharma Friends of Israel. That is a very good group. And sometimes some groups can be very complicated. But Dharma Friends of Israel, DFI, there's amazing people there. You must take advantage of, being connected with them, and if possible, try to be a part of this. Okay, so this is what we should be doing, expand it. And then meanwhile, I would say for these things, so what we do is just 8 days. And in the monastery universities, people study very systematically for like years, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. This is how people grow, so much. The next thing I like to share with you, more important thing, is that they say what will happen tomorrow for us? What will happen tomorrow to us? We never know. How many of you would agree with me, in a sense? Whether you will become sick or what, we never know. Good. So now who decides? This is known as the karma decides. Karma doesn't mean, okay, karma, now you know what karma is. Many people karma think the karma is some like, what is that? The outside agent which is moving. No, it's not an outside agent, it's our own action. For example, say during childhood, if you have been somebody who jumps all the time, your knees are hurt. And as a child, you will not feel that. When you will feel that? When you reach age 50, 60, 70, then you will feel that. Then you feel that knees are very damaged. You getting it? Yuki jumped all the time? No? She regrets now. Right? No, when it's 50, 60, that she will suffer. Okay, so the point is that these effects is because of your early action of jumping too much. Jumping too much without any the precaution. So so karma is nothing. Your own action didn't pass, and its effect is left effect on your mind. So that is the thing. So what kind of karma? They are, how many such karmas there in a mind? Thousands of karmas. I would say millions and millions of karmas in the inner mind. They are already, metaphorically speaking, it is like the arrows shot in the air. Arrows already shot by ourselves since long time ago. Millions of arrows are flying in the air. We never know, we are not seeing these arrows. These arrows hit us sometimes together, sometimes one after the other like this. And sometimes for us, how many times the bad things happen back to back? Very bad things, tragic things happen to us back to one after the other. Presents? Yes. It's a karma. Karma is the arrows of the karma, they are already in the air. We don't know what kind of arrows are in the air. And they can hit us anytime. And who shot this arrow? Self-centered attitude shot the arrow. And who created the arrow? Self-grasping ignorance created the arrow. Arrow was created by self-grasping ignorance, arrow of the karma, created by self-grasping ignorance, and shot by the self-centered attitude. Now they're all flying in the air, and anytime they can hit us. So we are very healthy today, and tomorrow we never know that, that one of us, like me or anybody, can disappear, saying, oh, something happened. This karma can hit us any form, anyway. We never know. So therefore, they say the karma, all these arrows of the problems, these karmas are created by self-grasping ignorance and shot by the self-centered attitude. This is how these two things are so vicious. So vicious in creating these karmas to hit us. And now, even if the karmas are hitting, what can we do? How can we protect them? We can protect them by the shield. Yes, shield. But again, these two things. While from there, they shot the arrows, and now here, when the karmas are coming to hit us, we can use the shield. But the shields are being removed. The shield of which are the two shields? Bodhicitta and wisdom of emptiness. These are the two shields. And the two shields are removed. Wisdom of emptiness shield is removed by self-grasping ignorance. Remove the shield. And bodhicitta shield is removed by self-centered attitude. So you become very big. Now the karma hits, you are in pain. You're getting it? So now look, so self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered, these two are so vicious in ways of creating the destructive karmas in the first place. And now in the actual event of experiencing them, you are made to experience this. Otherwise, if you have the shield, the arrow hits and the arrow falls. That's it. It's not a big deal. But if you are without shield, then the arrow hits and you are killed. So this is a problem. So therefore, these two are so vicious. Now, what we should be doing, what does it mean about Dharma practice? Shield. Hey, Edith, what is shield? Bagel.
Yeah, is the wisdom the shield? No, she understood that. She asked what is the shield of wisdom.
Okay. Shield, there are two shields. Wisdom of emptiness and bodhicitta. If you have the wisdom of emptiness, the arrow shot, because of the arrow shot, again it can be protected by the shield. So the self-grasping ignorance removes the wisdom of emptiness shield. Shield wisdom of emptiness. And there's another shield, bodhicitta shield. And this self-centered attitude removes the bodhicitta shield. So we become very bare. And the arrow hit us anytime, we become sick, we become ill, we become, mental distress, we start fighting with people. All these things happen because of we become so bare that karma is hitting us. So these two are so vicious in initially creating these destructive karmas, hitting us, and then in the actual event of the suffering, these two make sure that we are in pain. You're getting it? We are in pain. Actually, we can do away from the pain, like what I think day 1, day 2, Yuki asked, that is there a situation where, say that you cannot have, you don't have any pain with the body, or you don't depend on any food and so forth. Remember that? Okay, this is possible. Why we have to depend on all these things is because that these two things are there within us. So therefore they don't allow us to have the freedom not to depend on food, not to depend on this endeavor. These two make us so vulnerable. So the real enemy of us is these two. These two are the real enemies. So for example, let's say, okay, in your life, there must be somebody who the mere thought of that person makes you irritated or agitated. Yes, raise hands. Raise hands. Okay. Now, that person, why irritated, agitated? Because, anyone? Because why? Quick, why? Why? They hurt us, which means that if you cannot be hurt, if you're very strong, they cannot hurt us. So therefore, if you're a very strong person, okay, a small child says, you stupid Cheryl. 3 years old child says, you stupid Cheryl. What do you say? You're a cute child. Right? A small child says, you're very cute. Someone who can hardly walk, someone who can hardly speak says, you're stupid. It's so cute. So what I'm saying is that those people who you see as somebody who is very nasty, if you are very strong, if nobody can affect you, you've still that person as like a small child. You're getting it? So why we feel hurt, why we describe that person as nasty is because that the person can have the effect, can have the potential to make us feel hurt. You're getting it? So if you become strong, you see that this person cannot do anything. So therefore this person is not a problem for you. This is so. Now, what really creates the problem is your self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. These two things make us weak. These two things make us weak. So therefore, number 1 is the equalizing self and others. So think of the reality that the first step, don't jump. So therefore, these teachings, the Buddha's teachings, they are so practical and methodological. That you are taking step by step, not directly to the bodhicitta. So first, it does not say that others are more important than you. It says that you are equal. You agree? We are equal. This is more acceptable? Or somebody says that others are more important than you, which is better, more acceptable to you? Equal is more acceptable. You're getting it? Equal is more acceptable. So the step is we're equal. Equal in what ways? Equal in 3 ways. Number 1, equal in wanting happiness, equal in not wanting suffering, and equal in having the Buddha nature. We're all equal in wanting happiness, not wanting suffering, and having the hidden treasure of fearlessness and infinite happiness. We're all equal in these 3 things. Hidden treasure, all Buddha nature. We all are equal in having these 3 these 3 things. Number 1, we are equal in wanting happiness. We are equal in not wanting suffering. They equally have the potential to attain happiness to get into miseries. We all are same in that. And for example, let's say that deep inside, if you're very thirsty or hungry for the last 10 days, there are 10 people inside, and somebody goes, okay, there's only one bread, who likes to have this bread? Most likely will say that depending on the degree of your hunger, if the degree of hunger is too intense, we'll say what? I will have it. And why? What answer will you give? Why you want to have it? Why? Why? Because I am hungry. And then the question is, what about others? Are they hungry or not? Yes, they are. And again, who likes to have it? I like to have it. Again, although you say that I'm hungry, they are hungry, but there's no justification that you should have it, that others should not have it. There's no justification. But somehow this self-centered attitude says that I should have it. You're getting it? This is where we're very strong. Think about it very seriously. Think about it very seriously. We say that yes, that's true. This is how my mind would react. For example, how many of you have, if they took aeroplane, took flights, once in a time, once in a while, raise hands. How many use aeroplane? Flew by aeroplane? Yes. Amit? Yes. Right? Okay. So in the prayer, how many of you notice that? Okay, aeroplane landed. Right? And then in more, they say, sometimes once in a while, air hostess has to say, please sit down, right? Okay, still we are taxiing, right? And then finally the bell rings, ding ding. Then what happens? Everybody gets up, right? And if somebody goes before you, the person will stare at you. You're getting it? The person will stare at you. Okay. So look, this is very simple, small thing. So this will tell us how our mind works, how my self-centered attitude is so actively saying that I am more important than others. You're getting it? We are not equal. Get up first, right? And get up and what? Get up so that I should get off the aeroplane first. And then what? And then what? And finally, you will all get up into the baggage claim. Again, same place. And then your baggage may come last. Your baggage may come last. So what's the point of getting out first? But this is how stupid the self-centered attitude is. Self-centered attitude makes us so stupid. This is so obvious. So obvious. Still, look. And even though you already know this, okay, observe it next time. Everyone lands, and the people ting, and the people all get up, and just observe your mind, how your mind reacts. No. Bodhicitta class, right? Just observe your mind. Observe your mind. Okay, no, sit down. No, we all be in the baggage claim together, right? And these people, they don't think about this. Others, they do not. This thought will never come to their mind. Baggage claim will come together. No. Now I'm reminding you. So therefore, the Bodhicitta class, he said, yes, baggage claim is true. It comes true. But your mind will say, no, get up now. Now get up. You're getting it. And then look, just observe your mind, how the mind behaves, like a restless child. The moment they say people before you, they leave, okay. People after you, they leave, then your mind will say that, no, now get up. You're getting it? Just observe your mind. This is our self-centered attitude, talking and making you move making you the servant of the self-centered attitude. Okay, this is where we don't seek the equalizing of the self and others. So always keep in mind why they want to go first, because they want happiness. Why they don't want to stay behind? Because they don't want suffering. And do they have the potential to achieve the fearlessness, infinite happiness? Yes, they also have the potential. We are just saying there's no reason why I should go first. Just try any situations in the past. Now the aeroplane is a very good example. Otherwise, in the past, people get in the queue. And they say in some places where the cars, they're trying to cut each other, right? So these are all the proof that the self-centered. And then there's one gentleman, who was doing NDC, I think NDC 1 or NDC 1 class. And he was not interested in studies. And his wife was doing the 900 course. And his wife was persuading the husband and the children to do this course. And the husband is not interested. So the wife, she did is that she put the teaching on a loud volume, speak a loud volume. So whether you like it or not, he has to listen to it. And gradually, the husband started to Google search and became interested. And he joined the course. After about 2 or 3 months' time, he came to my office and told me that, Geshe-la, just imagine how much the teaching NTC course helped me to bring a change in me. I said, what change? And he said that before this class, in my car, there's always a hockey stick. I said, what's the hockey stick for? Then he said, very easy. You drive, somebody cuts, you get off, take the hockey stick. And then he said that after the course, 3 or 4 months later, then I didn't notice that the stick does not have any work. If the stick does not have any work, why should it be in my car? He removed it. And I said, why it does not work? He said, now when the car cuts, somebody cuts you, he sits there and he let him go. He let him go. Because now the person has become more rational. Because get out, fight, hit, will waste minimum 10-15 minutes. And why the person cuts you and you are unhappy is because he's wasting my time. Right? How much? Few seconds. And you're wasting 10 minutes. Right? And other person also give you punch. Right? You hit him, other person may not have a stick, the person may punch you back. Right? So whereas you say on the go, it's just 2 seconds and then you pass. Right? This is much more sensible. He said, this is among the change. This is amazing. It made me so happy. You're getting it? So Buddhahood, don't worry. Even though no Buddhahood, even though no fearlessness, infinite happiness, but this immediate benefit is amazing. Okay. So these are things that we need to contemplate on. First, equalizing self and others. So what's the reason behind that? We are equal in wanting happiness and equal in not wanting suffering and equal in having the same potential. Same potential. It's not that I'm more special. It's not that you're more special. We are all equally special. We all have the same seed of perfection, seed of the hidden treasure. We all have this hidden treasure. Okay, what is next?
Reflecting on deep merits of cherishing.
Reflecting on deep merits of cherishing oneself. Okay, Itai.
I just want to ask if we are equalizing. The text says, remember that we may see myself as the lowest.
Okay, very good. So Itai is saying that, but in the text says, may I the lowest, not equal, lower than others. What is this? Sorry? A text, this is known as the 8 verses mind training. Yes. So what is this? Okay. And the Itai, don't forget to bring this up after completion of these 9 steps. You're going to let me finish the 9 steps? Okay. If you have any questions like this is a very pertinent question. Bring them up in the class or in the group also, in the discussion group. What is next? Reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself, right? So, let's say that the reflection on demerits of cherishing oneself in a family where they say, do you agree with me? In a family, if there's one person who's very selfish, whole family becomes very unhappy, yes? And you're also very unhappy because others are unhappy and they will not smile at you. They're unhappy with you. And then you don't smile, see smiles, you're unhappy. You're getting it? So where the selfishness, it destroys everything. Your peace of mind and everything destroyed. For example, just take a few minutes and think of who are the people who are admired. For example, like Jesus Christ, great admired. Why? And today, after 2,000 years, he's being admired. Why? Because of his compassion. Because of his compassion. So, compassion means the opposite of selfishness. For example, the Buddha, who taught us how to cultivate this unconditional love. Like, for example, say, just the Mother Teresa, like Mahatma Gandhi, who sacrificed himself for the whole nation. And today we have the living Buddha, his Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is amazing inspiration for some. Whether you believe in religion or not religion, doesn't matter. Everybody loves him. Why? Because of his compassion. Because compassion. So there, one is very selfish, one is extremely unhappy. And this selfishness can make you act in a very nasty ways. All the, what we talked about, the three kinds of suffering. What's the first suffering? Suffering change result of non-virtuous actions. The suffering is because of non-virtuous. What is suffering? All the manifest pains. Manifest pains are because of the non-virtuous actions. Non-virtuous actions are particularly self-centered attitude should be there. I'm more important than you, and this makes one to act in a non-virtuous way. So non-virtuous way consequences, suffering. All the suffering because of the self-centered attitude. So the more we think about this, all my pains are because of the self-centered attitude. The more we think about it, we feel angry towards the self-centered attitude. And our mind requires something to blame at. Because we require something to blame at. So we usually blame at somebody else. This person, that person, this person, that person. Usually this is. Now, if you shift the blame from this person, that person to my self-centered attitude, if this is what you can do, you are the real Dharma practitioner. And you are the real victor. How victor? Look, say that once upon a time, there was a young man. And then he gave me a call and he said that, Geshe-la, I feel so mentally painful. I said, what happened? And he said that every time I can come to my parents' house, and the moment I was to leave my parents' house, I feel this pain of the separation. Then, because that he has some exposure to Dharma. He's a young man. And I told him, you're very lucky. He said, no, I'm not lucky. I feel the pain. I said, because you have the pain, you're very lucky. And he said, no, how? I said that, in fact, in the past, the great teachers, they deliberately leave their home and go to isolation. Separation from the parents, families, of their isolation, to feel this pain. To feel this pain, so that this pain is a result of karma. Which karma? Karma created by self-grasping ignorance and shocked by the self-centered attitude. So, to feel the pain because of self-centered attitude. One, this pain was shocked by the error of the shocked by self-centered attitude. Now that I'm feeling pain because the armor, the shield was removed by the self-centered attitude. So you have now look again, the self-centered attitude is acting on me. So you identify the self. The more you feel the pain, you are able to identify this self-centered attitude. Okay, Physical pain is one there and mental pain is there. Physical pain, of course, this is related to that, but particularly the mental pain. With the mental pain, believe it or not, the moment the blame goes to this self-centered attitude, if it really happens more spontaneously through practice, the moment the blame goes, again, you this self-centered attitude is acting on me, right? They shift the blame to self-centered attitude, instantly the mental pain will disappear. Try this. Try this. This is amazing. It's a clear indication that the mental pains are all very manifestly created by the shield of the, not remove the shield of the bodhicitta by the self-centered attitude. The moment the blame goes to self-centered, instantly and the pain disappears. You feel so light. That's amazing. You're getting it? Physical pain is a slightly different story. Physical pain will subside. It may not disappear completely. It subsides because physical pain is something which is connected long process. Whereas mental pain is immediate created by the self-centered attitude. Okay, so with this mind, okay, give me time, Jimmy and Vincent. So two of you and Ithai, all of you, whatever question you have, keep it. Bring this later. Let me finish this. Okay, so the more we think about this, the viciousness of selves, and believe it or not, say if you become mentally very strong, not being affected by anybody, then you will have no enemies. You getting it? So it's all created by the self, weakness created by the self-centered attitude. So self-centered attitude is to be blamed. The more you are able to blame this, it's very funny. So usually we are not to have any anger towards anybody, not to have any grudge to anybody. But if you at all want to hold grudge or anger, hold it against the self-centered attitude. That is the mark of the success of your Dhamma practice. You are a real Dhamma practitioner, particularly by engaging in this practice. So whenever you have a little, say, mental pain or sadness or feeling low or whatever, the moment the blame goes spontaneously, blame goes towards this self-centered attitude, believe it or not, instantly the mental pain will disappear and a light feeling will come to you. If that happens, you are truly a Dharma practitioner. Whereas you go this tantra, that mantra, that empowerment, this empowerment, so on. So and then finally, when anger, but this is a person, that is a person, you are not the person for tantra mantra. Better go for this. This will really help you. You're getting this. These people are really ready for tantra mantra practice.
Can you have translation?
The
translation in keyboard.
Which one?
What we need to do, like to get the mental into the identity.
Okay. How many sessions we have? Okay. I'm talking too fast?
My English is not that good.
Okay, what do you do?
No, it's okay. I will be fine. I will ask Andrew.
You'll ask?
Andrew in their group session.
As you grow. Okay. Okay, good. So we have feel the air, we have idid, we have many, right? So you help those who want help. Make sure that you help them during group discussion or during the other break times. Okay. So with this, they're contemplating on the demerits of cherishing oneself. The more you think about the demerits of the selfishness, the more you think about it. So finally, the Bodhicitta practice becomes most effective when you're able to see the demerits of the cherishing self and merits of cherishing others. Okay, what is next? Number 3. Merits is reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. Okay, now let us see. Say, if the problem, say for example, say, if the problem is with the problem of the say you have a very scary dream, it's a problem of the dream. Once in a while, we have the dreams, very scary dreams. You wake up, you fall asleep, again the dream continues. Yes? Okay, raise hands those to whom this happens. Celine? Never. Yes. Saying bad dreams, same bad dream, and you wake up very scared, you wake up, and again your eyes close down, again dream continues. Right? Okay. So here the dream is a problem. If the dream is a problem, how should you get away from this? Wake up. Likewise, this is the antidote. Likewise, if the ignorance is the problem, what should we do? Cultivate the wisdom. If the self-centered attitude is the problem, what should we do? Bodhicitta or other cherishing. You getting it? Now look. So you feel that self-centered attitude is my demon, is my enemy. You think like this. Don't ever think like this to another person. You're getting it? Don't ever think like this is my what? This is my horrible enemy. So if at all you like to think like this, think of this self-centered attitude, your own self-centered attitude. That is a horrible. This is, I have to get rid of this. This is creating problem on me. All my problems, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, all these are created by this, attracted by this self-centered attitude. This is enemy. Always try to blame on this. And then whenever you experience, you feel the pain, blame it on self-centered attitude. Yes, it is. How do you know that? The moment you blame this, and if you're able to little feel compassion with others, your mind will feel so light. You're getting it? This clear indication that the pains are attracted, particularly mental pains are attracted by the self-centered attitude. And don't think that when you mental pain, oh, so he said is created by self-centered, oh, I must be very selfish, I'm so bad. Don't think like this. Everybody's like this. You're getting it? Except when you reach the Bodhisattva high level, that's a different story. Otherwise, we have to go. Gate, paragate. Keep this in mind that we become like a sick person, so we have to get away. We can treat. Deep inside, you're not a sick person. True nature of your mind is so pure. You're getting it? Okay. So with this in mind, now the reflection on the merits of cherishing others. What I'm saying is that with point number 2. What's point number 2? Step number 2. Reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself. Demerits of cherishing oneself, and you see the demerits of that is so bad. It creates all the undesirable things, pain on me, and so forth. When you think that, so what is your job? You have to get away from self-centered attitude. You have to run away from self-centered attitude. How to run away from self-centered attitude? Yes. So you go to the counterforce. Ignorance, go to the wisdom. Dream, wake up. Self-centered attitude, go to the other cherishing. Let's say other cherishing. First, other cherishing. Okay. Now, cherish others. You're getting it? Cherish others. You're not doing this for the benefit of you. I'm cherishing others so that I can run away from self-centered attitude. Because this is what ruins me, which creates the sickness, aging, death, tension, depression. All these pains are created because of this self-centered attitude. So the more you think about this, then you run for a safe heaven. Safe heaven. Say, if you have a big brother who is so loving to you, and your neighbor is creating problem on you, what do? You run to your brother. So likewise, self-centered attitude, it is troubling you, what do? Run away to other cherishing. You're getting it? So you are doing other cherishing, not because that I like to help you. It's because that I have to run away from self-centered attitude. Now look, so for example, which is better? That I'm helping you because you are poor. Another one's, I'm helping you, I'm benefited. Which is more reliable? And second one, I'm helping you because so that I'm benefited. So please don't feel that I'm helping you. I'm actually helping you all because I'm benefited. For example, I teach you, I benefit. I can think more. You're getting it? So my teaching you, I'm feeling grateful to you. Okay, so that way, then this way of cherishing others becomes so pure. So pure meaning that the that it becomes very reliable. Otherwise, usually, say you're being nice to Sharon. Okay, nice to Sharon. And say you give some presents, right? Presents. And then what she does, what is this? Wooden pen. What is this? Right? And then what happens? Okay. She does not know what is gratitude. You're getting it? Which means there's expectation there. You're getting it? Whereas you give something, and whether the person is unbenefited, you feel this, no matter what other actions, your cherishing others will never diminish. You agree? Because you are benefited. How many of you feel tired? How many say, which is more tiring? To feed somebody breakfast every day or to feed yourself breakfast every day? Which is more tiring? First one, right? So if you, do you think you can survive like this? To always go to a neighbor and offer breakfast to the person? How long do you think you will survive? 1 week? Right, then it's, I'm sorry, I'm tired. You're getting it? Whereas, how many of you feel tired of the feeding yourself breakfast? Every day we have been feeding ourselves breakfast. You're getting it? We never say, I'm tired. Right, okay, now I'll not to feed you anymore. You will never say that because it's about me. This is so beautiful. So likewise, I'm doing this for me. I'm cherishing you so that I can run away from this self-centered attitude. So because of this, I can run away from suffering. You're getting it? So that I can run away from suffering because I run away from the self-centered attitude. So therefore, you play a very important role. So I'm helping you. So it's so reliable. It is sustainable. It's so sustainable, grounded. You could feel it. This is so beautiful practice. You're getting it? So the more you think about demerits of cherishing oneself, the more you think about cherishing others. You have to think both ways. Then your bodhicitta practice is going to be very fast growing. What is next? Taking the suffering of others with emphasis on compassion. And number 5, giving your happiness to others with emphasis on loving kindness. So number 4 and number 5 come together. In Tibetan, this is known as the practice of Tonglen. In Tibetan, this is known as the number 4 and number 5 combined together is known as the practice of Tonglen. Tong meaning giving, Len is taking. But Tonglen, this is how the Tibetans say it. But in practice, you can do it both ways. Giving first or taking first. It doesn't matter. Okay, so here we do the taking first, taking suffering of others first. So now you said that the cherishing myself, this is a demon. Cherishing others, this is my healing. So with this, now in action, what do you do to reinforce these two thoughts? To reinforce these thoughts of cherishing others, we actually engage in the actions. So first we do the theory in the class. In schools, you remember physics theory class or science theory class, and then go to the practical. So likewise, so with step number 2 and 3 is like the theory, and step number 4 and 5 is like the practical. Okay. Some people, they say that, okay, when you go through difficult times, you go through a little bit of depression and so forth, you go to some teachers, some are very unwise. They said that do Tonglen is not a wise advice. You getting it? When you go through depression and then you are asked to take more suffering for others, it'll make you more depressed. You're getting it? But some are very, very unskilled. Whereas you can do that, it doesn't matter. But you must do that incorporating the first 3 steps. If you incorporate the first 3 steps, then you do the number 3 and number 4. They are very, very powerful. Otherwise, jump to number 3 and 4 with the number 4 and 5 directly, it can be a big disaster. Oftentimes, some people they say there are some people who said I'm suffering from depression, and then I would say okay, then yes, Dharma practice will be helpful. And you do this, but don't do the Tonglen. Tonglen, don't do that. If you want to do that, you can do with the earlier steps included. And of course, yes, this is exactly somebody advised me to do the Tonglen directly, and I did it, and then my situation became worse. I said that this is 100% going to be the case. Your situation will become worse. So we should be very realistic. So we should be very realistic. We should be very realistic. We have to have the first 3 steps in your hand successfully done, and then go for number 4 and 5. Okay. Number 4, taking the suffering of others with the emphasis on compassion. With compassion, what you do is that as you breathe out, first, as you breathe in, take the suffering of others, like suffering, change, by physical suffering in the form of, say, very dirty but water gushing through your left nostril and going through your heart, and the heart imagine that the self-centered attitude is just, chilling out. And the heart, and then suddenly this very corrosive, acidic, but dirty water, they gush through the left nostril, and then at the heart, they eat up the self-centered attitude. And sometimes you can also think of they're actually eating up your biological heart. And when you see it's eating biological heart, it can be quite scary. When you feel the fear, the scare, when you feel that, actually it's attacking the self-centered attitude. You're getting it? It's very good. But if it's too acute, some people cannot take this, then you just imagine the self-centered attitude is taken up, eaten up, and then this dirty water goes down through your body, feet, and underground. So just do it like 3 times, 6 times, 9 times. Okay, you take the suffering of others. And if you have some people, I remember His Holiness the Dalai Lama during the teaching said that if you have some people who have the illnesses, who are going through difficult times or any difficult times, like the breakups or divorce cases or the loss of near and dear ones and so forth, these pains, you can particularly think of these people and take the suffering to yourself in the form of this dirty water gushing through your nose, and then imagine that other person is free from that particular pain. So that would be very effective, very helpful. Okay, so this is taking suffering by others. Next, giving a happiness to others. So that is when you breathe out. As you breathe out, imagine that all your virtues, and the good things that you have, material good things, all these things, they go out through your right nostril, and then the mere touch with other beings, that the beings who are deprived of material resources, they get the material resources, who are deprived of the houses, whatever they are deprived of, they got these things, and they say where they were deprived of happiness, they get happiness. Just think of that. Okay, this is about the giving happiness to others. And giving, generally speaking, giving is of 4 kinds. 4 kinds of giving. What is number 1? Giving means generosity. The first, the generosity of material resources. Okay, generosity of material resources. First one is the generosity of material resources. Number 2, generosity of affection, love and affection. Number 3, generosity of protection. Number 4, generosity of dharma. Dharma. Teaching. Yes. Okay, good. So 4 generosities, and you can, when you think about this, taking the suffering of others, giving happiness to others, there are so many ways of doing this. It's not that one is better over the other. You can do any way you like. The best would be if you can make it very comprehensive. It's not just made a small part. Make it very comprehensive. Suffering, 3 kinds of suffering. Take 3 kinds of suffering along with the causes. Giving, 4 kinds of generosity. First, material resources. Generosity of material resources. Again, you breathe out and imagine nectars and white nectars, and the lights flow through your right nostril. The mere touch with the beings, they transform into material resources, whatever they're deprived of, and then they get the happiness out of that and feel that they are so happy now, and you also become so happy. Next is generosity of love and affection. Many people who go through depression, hopelessness, is because that they are deprived of affection from others. They don't get such affection from others. So imagine that as you breathe out, again they flow and goes out, and the mere touch with them, just imagine that these nectars, they change into Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, His Holiness Dalai Lama, and the very loving, the Bodhisattvas, they change into them, and they just listen to these people, talk to them, console them, and they feel that there's somebody who truly loves me. And then they feel the healing. Generally, people who go through, say the feeling of loss, loneliness, and so forth, is because that they get this feeling of affection from others. So, in fact, there's one gentleman who's amazing. Whenever in the mornings when we do this practice, he runs into tears, and he's deeply, very affectionate, very kind person. And he said that once they were, he would meet with people who feel so lost and hopeless. They feel the hopelessness. They meet with them, and then he would just listen to. He said that I just listen to the people who feel so lost and hopelessness. He just listened to them and would say every once in a while, give the assurance, yes, you are right. Listen, and the other person would feel that his affection. Yes, he's very, very loving. And then many people, many people, they, even non-believers who describe themselves very, very tough, very strong person. When I see His Holiness, it's since like the last 40 years, 50 years, same thing. The moment they see His Holiness, they could not control their tears. Okay, how many of you, when you had the first, maybe having the audience, you run into tears? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, 9, 10. Yes. So there are many, not necessarily Buddhists, not necessarily Tibetan, anybody, non-believers also. They could feel something. They could feel something inside, which you have never experienced before. Extremely peaceful thing, which just the tears of joy comes to you. This is because of His Holiness's, very intense, very powerful compassion that he practiced, that he has generated. So this is what we can do. So we can imagine that these lights change into all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and then giving assurance, listening to them, and giving assurance that I'm there for you. Okay, by the way, this is just a comment. It doesn't have any, okay, what is the disclaimer? So what happened was that once there was a lady and who asked me, Geshe-la, do you do home visits? I said, what should I be doing? She said that she has a friend, a lady, and whose father is going through the physical problem, the stroke problem. And so he needs a little bit of, say, somebody sitting and talking, and he'll feel healing. So I said, okay. Went there, and it was the husband, young husband, and the wife, and the father was the wife's father. And usually in the Indian, the Tibetan generally is not always the case. The case that the girl goes out and the son stays with the parents. So there, yes, the father was out, meaning the girl came to join the husband's family. But the girl's father having physical health issue. So the girl brought the father in the house. And I came there just to meet the father, to talk to him. And talking, he was reminiscent of his, like 40 years ago, 50 years ago time in Dharamshala. And that was in Delhi. And in Dharamshala, then he was just sharing those moments with me. I was in Dharamshala. And then while sharing this, he became so emotional, he was running to tears. And the daughter was sitting next to the father, And the daughter was touching the father's chest, saying that, Dad, wow, don't feel sad. We are there for you. Boys will never do that. Boys will never do that. And Dad, she was literally touching the father's chest, saying that we are there for you. We are there for you. So why do you have to feel sad? We are there for you. Aren't we there for you? I was so moved. Wow, so beautiful. It's amazing that the daughter's love is so beautiful. Okay, so this is where what I'm saying is that the giving affection to somebody who feels so low, this is very important, very important. And yes, okay, it's not that easy. Your level of your compassion should grow to some extent. And yes, with practice, it'll happen. We all have the Buddha nature. Don't forget it. Okay, so what? Generosity of material resources, generosity of love and affection. Third, generosity of protection. Okay, so generous protection means, for example, like those who they face threats to their life, like being in the hands of the terrorist or underground, what kind of things happening, very scary. Yes, the monkeys okay. The human beings are more complicated. Monkeys okay. Bad monkeys are there. Bad monkeys, who can speak. They're very scary. Then this monkey can, create fear in 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, maximum 40, 50, 60, 70 person. But the monkeys who can speak can create millions of problems, millions of people. Okay. So the okay, think of these moments. For example, say monkeys like what? I'll give you an example. Monkeys who can speak, right? Who can kill millions of chickens in the KFC. This monkey cannot do that. Near, right? So organized killings. These ordinary monkeys cannot do. Tigers cannot do. Lions cannot do. Only monkeys who can talk. These can do. Right? KFC. What is KFC? It's just killing millions of chickens a day. This is KFC. You getting it? Only the monkeys who can talk can do this. Right? The human beings, they can do that. So just imagine these things, and with this, say, finally, the life is so precious. Just as your life is so precious, the life of these poor chickens is also very precious. Let's not forget it. It's very precious. So, and the protection of others' lives. For example, think of the KFCs. How many millions of chickens are killed just for our food, right? And I tell people, since I was in my 20s, I tell people that if chickens, they don't involve life, I would be enjoying chicken every day, morning, evening, afternoon, evening, every day I would enjoy chicken. But it's not like this. It involves life. Just as you don't want somebody to prick or cut, these animals also have the right not to feel the pain. They also have the right. It's totally unfair. So one time, I was diagnosed with some problem, and the doctor has to check what problem I have. So for that, I said, they say something wrong with my lungs, and they had to take a biopsy, do a biopsy. So for that, they have to inject me, and then from there take some fluid from the lungs. And the doctor warned me, the radiologist, he warned me all these procedures, and then they say, in the actual event of the what is the procedure, you cannot even move. If you move all the procedures, painful procedure, you have to repeat it over again. So he gave me a first local anesthesia, so that when the injection, the needle goes in, it's not painful. And then when he was actually injecting me with the needle, it was really painful. It was like a boulder, because still I could hear, imagine, the sound of this tick, 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 like he was, injecting, and I could feel the pain. So like I was being pressed by a very huge rock, like tick, 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 tick. And he said, don't move. If you move, the whole procedure will have to go over again. Okay. Then coming back, it was so painful. There was a Tibetan nurse who was from the same hospital, but she deliberately requested the doctor that she be able to assist me. Then I told the nurse that, are you vegetarian? And she said no. Then I told her that, look, I had the local anesthesia, painkiller, local anesthesia, number one. Number two, it was not a cutting, it was just a needle piercing, needle. Still the pain is so acute. These poor chickens, no anesthesia. It's not just a needle, it's just slitting. How much painful it would be. It is extremely unfair on what we're doing. We are really a bully, exploiting, creating unnecessary pain just for a food. 5 minutes of enjoying food will create such a pain on these animals. And then I asked her, can you become vegetarian? She said yes. And then after 1 year, I met the same girl with her friends, and she must be sharing this story to other people. That Geshe-la asked me, can I be, so this is what happened with the Geshe-la. And then I became vegetarian. And then when I met her with her friends, her friends were telling me, Geshe-la, she's still vegetarian. Okay, this is very inspiring, very inspiring. So what I'm saying is that I don't mean to say that everybody should become vegetarian. What I'm saying is that in whatever capacity, you can take some actions. Finally, say the teachings are the one thing, then the teachings to put into action is number two. With the actions, the results come. So with this mind, it's so important for us to take actions for the result of the fearlessness and the infinite, for you to experience that. For to do that, you need to know how to take the actions. For that, we require the teaching. So teachings are for the purpose. So with this mind, if we can take some steps, not necessarily full step at one time, some steps, that would be amazing, greatly they appreciate it. So some people, they say that, after listening to these talks, they said, I cannot be vegetarian, but I stopped buying meat from outside. That if I stopped cooking meat in my own house. This is what people say. Some people say this is amazing. Some say that I stopped eating chicken, I stopped eating fish, I stopped eating beef, I stopped eating this, that, and so forth. That amazing. You have already taken some steps. That's amazing. And some people say that usually I eat non-veg every day. Now I'll stop that. I eat only once a week. That's also another step that you've taken. That's amazing. I would truly appreciate it. And some people, they said, no, sorry, I can't do anything. But I truly appreciate those people who change to vegetarianism. And even those people, they appreciate. Even that is so precious. Even though you cannot take the step yourself, but the appreciation is within you. Even that is so precious. Okay, so likewise, in whatever capacity that you can take steps, that would be very appreciated. Is something to be encouraged. Okay, so a light note to be added here. There was a teacher who was my schoolmate, was way senior to me, maybe 5-6 years senior to me, a very senior. And later, he, as a lay person, he became a Dharma practitioner, and he's also very humorous, like a comedian. And yet, he has very kind heart. At the same time, he is non-veg. So he has many students, Western students. So one day his students invited him to Germany to give teachings, and he's a layperson. and he's very kind and very humorous also. And his students, they know that he's very humorous person. He's like a comedian, and also, of course, very compassionate, very grounded. And then his students invited him for a meal in a 5-star hotel. And they ordered food. And all his students ordered vegetarian food. And only the teacher ordered non-veg food. And the students, they know that he would not mind that the students ask any question. And the students asked, "Sir, you are our teacher." And he said, "Yes." And all the students, they ordered vegetarian food, and you are the only one who ordered non-veg food. And then he said, "Ha ha ha." Right? He said, "Ha ha ha." And then the students, they were just wondering, what is this? So he said that each one of you are so lucky. And they said, "Why?" "Because you're so lucky that I'm a Buddhist. If I'm not Buddhist, I will not only eat the non-veg, I will eat you up all." Because I'm Buddhist, I'm not eating you up. I'm eating only the non-veg food. I'm not eating you up. Otherwise, if I'm a non-Buddhist, I'll eat you up all. You're going to get you're so lucky that I'm Buddhist. What is that? Okay, this is just a light note. Okay, so this is about what? Giving protection. And for the protection, they say the generosity of protection as the nectars and light as you breathe out. They go out, they meet with the people who are like the captives in the hands of the terrorists. You can imagine that you are bargaining with the terrorists. Mentally, it's all mental exercises on terrorists and giving them some ransoms, and you get the what is that? The victims back. And then they meet with the parents, they're so happy, you also feel the joy. And sometimes you can also, some people who can do that, can go a little more extreme, but not everybody can do that. Some, you think you can do that, do it. That'd be very good. So the terrorist is very adamant, stubborn, no, I'm going to kill. And then you tell the terrorist that if at all you have to kill somebody, kill me instead of this person. And the terrorist, okay. And that person released. And then you are there and you cut, right? Just imagine that you are being killed. So not everybody can do that. It can be very scary, and it can be like a paranoia. So where you can do that, and then you may feel a little bit of the fear, gasping for the air, like this. If that happens, it is actually attacking your self-centered attitude. This is a very good practices. And then in the 5-star hotel, there's some what is that? The aquarium. Usually aquariums in India, aquariums, wherever I saw, there must be some place I don't know, but generally where I saw the aquariums, they're so beautiful in India, so beautiful, but the fish, it's just for the sake of decoration. But in one country, I'm not going to mention what the country is. In one country, in a hotel, I saw not a big aquarium, maybe, but comparing the aquarium, size of the aquarium and the fish inside, fish is so big. It's not for decoration. I was confused. It's not beautiful. And why these aquariums put there? In India, aquariums so beautiful for decoration. But here, and then the cook came, and I asked the cook, "What is this?" And cook was confused. How come the Nahi person, he doesn't know what this is? Then he did not speak. He just gestured for eating. Then after a few minutes, the same chef came and picked up a big crab from this aquarium and went to the kitchen. Big crab. Okay, now in your visualization, you can imagine that you are telling the chef that, okay, please release this crab and I'll give you money. And imagine you release a crab in the ocean where it came from, meet with its, the types, and you're very happy. You also feel happiness. And then if you can want to do little, extreme, but not everybody can do that. They don't force yourself. Only if you're confident that you can do that, you can do these things. So there, the chef is saying that, no, we can't do that, because if you have to serve food to the people, right? The monkeys who can talk, right? And so then then you tell the chef, so if that is the case, then give me to the monkeys who can talk, right? Kill me instead of these crabs, little crab. And then you exchange the crab, release crab, and then you go there, and these people, this chef, they remove your limbs one by one, throwing, and then your body, right? Your body are living, put in the hot boiling oil, like this, and then you feel, right? Self-centered energy attacked. You're getting it? It's not that you're going to die, don't worry. But not all can do that. Those who cannot do that, don't force yourself. So those who are confident you can do that, take as a challenge, like Yuki. You're good in taking challenge? Okay. So anybody who likes to take this challenge, you can do that, but make sure that you don't become crazy. You're getting it? Okay. This is the generosity of protection of somebody else's life. Finally, what next? Generosity of dharma. And dharma, there are so many ways of doing that. So one thing which can be very comprehensive is the 4 dharmas. Okay, let's make it 3. Let's make it 3. 3 principal aspects of the path. What are they? Renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. So renunciation, dharma of the renunciation. Why renunciation? Because we don't want suffering. And the sufferings are a result of the harmful actions towards others. To renounce your harmful actions. Renunciation. Why bodhicitta? Second teaching. Why bodhicitta? We want happiness, and the maximum happiness will be attracted by bodhicitta number 2. What's next? Wisdom emptiness. Why wisdom emptiness? Now we already removed the suffering and we got the maximum happiness. Why wisdom emptiness? Anyone? Did you understand what I said? I said renunciation for what? To remove your miseries, because to renounce the harmful actions. Because harmful actions, you don't want miseries, and miseries are a result of the harmful actions. You renounce the harmful actions, renunciation. Bodhicitta, why? You want maximum happiness, and happiness is a result of the maximum happiness you can get from the bodhicitta, and bodhicitta, so that's part of bodhicitta. So for the happiness. So you have the maximum happiness, and the misery is gone. So why do we need wisdom? Yes. Sharon.
Not see the objective eye.
But if I'm not objective, it doesn't matter. Your suffering is gone, your happiness is infinite. So why do we need that? We should be very realistic. Don't say that because of this. You have to have the reason. Anyone? Okay. So we said renounce. So finally, do you agree with me that your job is whatever you follow Buddhism, no Buddhism, it doesn't matter. You follow football, no football, it doesn't matter. When you go education, no education, no, it doesn't matter. Your job is to remove your miseries, all the fears, and expand your happiness. This is your job. And your misery is gone because of the renunciation. And maximum happiness was the bodhicitta. Why do we need wisdom and emptiness? Okay. So, okay, yes. This is what I'm saying. Renunciation is to renounce your fears. Already done, renunciation. Okay, let me be very quick. So these are the things we need to think. You're getting it? Antecedent questions. These will refine your thinking. The point is that, what is renunciation? What's the exact meaning of renunciation? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, it did what? Renunciation. Okay, so it did. Say first renunciation. Okay, like the mic.
To renounce זה לוותר, להשיל מעליך, לא לקחת, לא לרצות. זה אני מייתר את זה, זה הופך להיות נמתר, אני מוותר על זה.
Bodhicitta for the maximum happiness. It is?
אז בודיצ'יטה, נכון, האפשרות להיות נדיב והרצון לאושר מקסימלי.
Okay. Now, why we need wisdom emptiness? This is something we have to think very seriously. Yes, Prasannata.
To get rid of
To get samsara, renounce samsara. To get rid of samsara, to get rid of miseries. That's renunciation, job of renunciation. Okay, here.
renunciation is the desire to get away from the suffering, but wisdom is to actually act upon self-rescue.
Okay, so what Tenzin Samsala said is very comprehensive. NMC? Okay, she's saying, hey, Prasannata, go for this. You're getting it? This is what he's saying. Okay. So what Tenzin Samsala said is that renunciation and bodhicitta, if you look at the, say, definition, renunciation is the aspiration to be free from all the sufferings. Bodhicitta is the aspiration to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. In other words, to have the maximum happiness. You're getting it? These two are on the which level? On what level? Aspiration level. Aspiration, okay, that
שאיפה. השאיפה להגיע למצב יותר גבוה, יותר טוב, יותר שלם. aspiration זה גם השלב של בודיצ'יטה וגם השלב של renunciation, של ויתור. שניהם בגדר שאיפה להגיע לאושר ולנדיבות.
So now, don't just leave it on the aspiration. You're getting aspiration, may I. So now we have to make it happen. So what this Samsara said is that to make it happen, you have to put into action. What's the action? Remove the mental dirt. Remove afflictive obscurations so that the aspiration of renunciation will be fulfilled. Remove the content obscuration so that the aspiration of the Bodhicitta will be fulfilled. How to remove the mental dirt? Only by the wisdom of emptiness. You getting it? Okay, it did?
אז אם אנחנו רוצים לעבור מעבר לשאיפה להגיע, צריך לבוא לפעולה. והפעולה תהיה לדעת את הריק, נכון? את האמפטינס, שזה המקום של הבודה. רק אם אנחנו יכולים לפעול לקראת אמפטינס, להיות במקום הזה של אמפטינס, אז עשינו פעולה מעבר לשאיפה.
Very good. Okay, so as we... It's not very good? You didn't look at anything.
I say you do not know whether it is good. You don't understand it.
Okay, so when I say very good, it doesn't mean that translation is very good. I said, okay, now one part is gone. I'm happy you're getting it. One part whether it's done, translation good or bad, but my job is I'm very happy. Right? Now I can move to the next. You're getting it? Okay. Near, you happy? Good. Okay, tell this girl. Okay. What happened to the Shilat? Okay. Okay. Huh? No. Okay, let's say. So as you breathe out, again the nectars, white rays flow, and the mere touch with each of the beings, they transform into the Buddha Shakyamuni, they transform into His Holiness the Dalai Lama, they transform into Arya Lama Tsongkhapa, Arya Tara, and Buddhas Bodhisattvas, and they give teaching on renunciation. And imagine that the beings, they realize, oh, I should not harm others. Teaching Bodhicitta, oh, I should be kind towards other people. I should be loving, caring towards other people. Wisdom emptiness, oh, things are all empty of objective reality. They are all like drained. They realize this. And because of this, their mental defilements, afflictive obscurity, they're all washed away. And you seeing that this is what's happening, you're so happy. Just imagine that all the leaders of the world, in the family, on the global level, in the family level, who's ever running the family? They are very compassionate, loving, and helping others, not wanting to harm others, helping, and become very sensible to see things like dream, where they become very stable, firm. If this is what's happening on the family level, the global level, the leaders level, all the wars will stop. You agree? Huh? Okay, so that should be Shelley. Do you remember what I said before? Skillful compassion. You getting it? Skillful compassion. It's not just compassion. Then they'll eat you up, right? So what is it? Very true. I'll tell you. His Holiness is very, very realistic, very realistic. And one time, I think in America, His Holiness was giving public talk. At the end of the talk, people were asking questions. Question asked was, Your Holiness, you always talk about compassion, compassion, compassion. But in reality, it doesn't work. When you're very compassionate, people eat you up. This is Sharon's word. Others will eat you up, right? So what should we do? His Holiness said, His Holiness didn't give a direct answer. His Holiness said, if a mad dog comes, don't say compassion, compassion, the best thing is run away.
So not like that.
No. Just metaphor, example. Don't say compassion. This is a unwise compassion. You getting it? You should be smart. Sometimes you have to express compassion outwardly. Sometimes you have to pretend as though you are not helping the other person, actually helping from behind, which we discussed this morning. There are so many ways that you can express compassion. You getting it? And His Holiness, one thing so good about His Holiness is that it's amazing. He can make friends with anybody. You getting it? And it is said, I don't know whether it's true or not, it's said that the Chinese leaders, they tell other people, don't ever meet with the Dalai Lama. If you meet with him, you will change your mind. You're getting it? If you meet with him, you will change your mind. So they are hesitant. They don't want to meet His Holiness. He meets with His Holiness, he will say, yes, sir. Finished. Kate.
Yeah, so regarding this point, I live in Hong Kong, and then I sent my friend that I'm going to India and I will join them, a birthday celebration of Dalai Lama. And he told me, delete this message because they might block me on Facebook and WeChat, that platform. So,
Yes. WeChat.
You cannot send a message like Dalai Lama without the social media.
Yes. You are in the palms of the you are in the palms of watching you. Kate. You getting it? We should be very careful. Yeah. We should be very careful. Okay, good. What's next?
Actual exchanges of self.
Okay, actual exchange of okay, now easy, very quick. Okay. Actual exchange of self and others, there's no special practice there. Here, we make a commitment. From all these practices, I've become very convinced that self-cherishing is very destructive. This is what destroys me. Other cherishing is so good. So therefore, I should cherish others. Not necessarily for others, but to protect myself from the destruction caused by the selfishness. You getting it? I should cherish others. What are you doing is that when you say I should cherish others, you are actually, it's like the mental therapy. Mental therapy like a physiotherapy, right? What should we do? For example, your arms locked like this for 2 months because of the fracture, the plaster. Then when the plaster is removed, can you remove your arms like this? No, it's very fixed now. So what do? Then you go through physiotherapy. Move a little bit here, keep moving like this. If you don't move like this, it'll become stiff. So what you do? Keep moving like this. Likewise, mind also, it requires the mental therapy. It's not a physical therapy. Physiotherapy. It's a mental therapy where mentally you have to do it. Therefore, I have to cherish others. The moment you do that, this knot This knot is gradually, how many such knots are there? There are so many, thousands and thousands of knots are there. Every time you say, I cherish others, my selfishness so evil, and cherishing others so good, the one knot is untied, another knot is untied, another knot is untied. You getting it? So that way, the knot of the selfishness becomes less. Then eventually, gradually, you start to feel, okay, earlier, for example, like in my case, you remember, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings? Then? Huh? No. So me as a young boy, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings? Except for that person, you getting it? So except for that person, that corrosion, corrosive feeling, it gradually subsides. Amazing. That really works. So you could feel, literally you could feel the knots there. These knots will be untied one by one. This very beautiful practice. So that is, you have to do that. So think about, Founding Bodhicitta practice all rests on reflection on the demerits of cherishing oneself and reflect on the merits of cherishing others. The more success you do that, your Bodhicitta practice will be grand success. You're getting it? Okay, so with this, we finish up to step number? Step number 6. Done. So we are left with step number 7. 7 requires one, almost like maybe half a session, if maybe perhaps one session or half a session. Step number 7, and then step 8, 9 is quicker. Okay, Max, you have a question?
Yeah, so you mentioned skillful compassion and compared to unwise compassion. So we think about bodhicitta and wisdom of emptiness as being two wings, but when we talk about skillful compassion or wise compassion, is it like we're combining the wisdom and the compassion, or are they very much separate?
Okay, so this is all like intertwined. Do you understand the question?
Yeah.
Next question you didn't follow. Okay, it did?
זו שאלה על compassion, זאת אומרת, הסוג המיוחד הזה של תשומת לב ורחמים, נתינה, נדיבות, ועל הצד השני של wisdom, שזה הצד של החוכמה. אז השאלה מה קורה כשמדברים על סוג של נתינה שהוא חכם, שיש בו את הצד של החוכמה והפרקטיות. איך זה עובד?
Okay, good. So here it's network of so many things. For example, like to practice the compassion, we need to counteract the opposing forces like ego, anger, and so forth. Ego, anger, they all rest on self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance. So by meditating on emptiness, the ego, anger, these will subside. So in a way, it reinforces compassion, number 1. Number 2, compassion is seen by dependent origination. Dependent origination, by dependence on cherishing others. Self-grasping ignorance, harming me will be, self-centered attitude, harming me will reduce, is originated. Dependent origination. So, dependent origination, to understand dependent origination more, you have to understand emptiness more. You're getting it? So these two will reinforce each other, so thereby your compassion is also reinforced. So it affects, so for compassion, there are two things. 1, to minimize, to remove the discordant factors, which which are harmful to you, which hampers your growth, compassion, like anger, ego, and so forth. You have to remove them. Meanwhile, you have to reinforce the factors, conducive factors to reinforce your compassion. We have to put effort from two sides. Now for this, the first one, emptiness will have to remove that, and the other side, reinforce that, understand dependent origination will help. Scott, you have a question?
Well, yeah, I was on that same point. It's funny because actually the first time I saw Dalai Lama was in 2012. He came to my university and gave a talk. And the only thing I
Which university?
University of Southern California.
Where? Which year?
Southern California, 2012.
Okay.
Remember he was wearing the hat.
Mm.
So because of the same colors as the school colors.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, so the it was hard to understand him until the very last thing. Somebody was asking him about Osama bin Laden. Like, okay, what do we do according to you? And he gave the example of the mosquito coming 3 times, and I didn't really understand. Like his presence made an impact on me more than I realized at the time, but I didn't really understand. And like here I am, 10 years later, and I'm actually wanting to like ask you if you could elaborate on it.
What? Mosquito.
So yeah, mosquito comes first time, gives some blood, and then push off, and then second time, push off, and then third time.
Okay. So no, His Holiness the Dharam very, very practical, very realistic, and he will speak according to what can benefit you the most. Some people who say that, let's say the dengue mosquitoes, right? Dengue, no, kill them. If His Holiness meets such people, then His Holiness will never say, no, dengue, even if you become you suffer dengue, let it suffer, protect it. He'll never say that. You're getting it? He's very practical. So he will speak according to, for example, the small children, they perform dance, he'll do like this. He flow with the music of the small children's dance, like this, just to make them happy. And when you see himself in his own room, he will never do this. Even if you request him, he will not do that. If you go there, he will not do it. For the children, for small children, they will understand his soul. Only he does this. He talks sentence, they will not understand it. This language, children will understand. Oh, he's also enjoying upper dinner. So people, so those who are too scared of dengue, okay, kill them. So these people, he doesn't speak according to what these people say. You getting it? Okay. Yes.
One question regarding the self-centered attitude. You said when we feel the pain to self-centered attitude, we can get rid of it by blaming it on the self-centered attitude. When like a near one, my mother would die, I feel pain. Is this pain also due to the self-centered attitude, and can I blame it on it?
Okay. So don't blame yourself. Blame self-centered attitude.
Yes.
Answer is, if you remember day 1 or day 2, I said something. I gave you 3 choices. So much love, so much pain. 1 choice. Second, no pain, no gain. Right? So person, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, no affection to each other. Right? No affection. The morning you get up, you see your face, you feel so suffocated. Right? So in case, no pain, no gain. The third one is so much love and affection with no pain. So I gave you 3 choices. Which did you choose? The third one. You getting it? So the fact that there's a pain means there's a self-centered attitude. So there's a great opportunity for you to identify self-centered. Don't ever blame yourself. Okay, this is the one thing that we need to keep in mind. When you talk about the demerits to cherish oneself, don't ever blame yourself. I'm so bad. I'm so self-centered. Don't ever blame yourself. If at all you have to blame somebody, blame the self-centered attitude. You blame yourself, this is the greatest of the failure. Nobody can fail you. Only you can fail yourself. When does that happen? When you blame yourself. You're going, I'm hopeless, I'm so self-centered, I'm so bad, I don't know anything, I'm worthless. This is the greatest of the failure. You too have a Buddha nature. But you don't recognize this, and then you blame yourself. Then that is the greatest of the. Nobody can fail you. Only you can fail yourself. The moment you say that I'm hopeless, that's the dead end. So therefore, whenever you get a chance to blame yourself and attitude, this is a great opportunity for you to grow your happiness. Take it as an advantage. Okay, the Itai. Yes, your question before one.
When you say before I said that, the reference to the passage that said that I need to see myself as the lowest level.
Okay, so we talked about the equalizing self and others, and then then in the text it says, that give the victory to others and take the defeat on yourself. You getting it? Okay. Say, did you all? You all got the answer? You do not get the answer. When you say I don't know, means you do not get the answer. The answer you already gave it. Actual exchange of self and others. Actual exchange of self and others means that if at all I have to cherish somebody, I will cherish others. If at all I have to be indifferent to somebody, I'll be indifferent to myself. It doesn't mean that I will undermine myself. I'm going to be indifferent to my self-centered attitude. You getting it? So I'll cherish others more than myself.
More than myself centered.
Oh no, actually it is when you say I will cherish others more than myself. But actually what is happening is that you are more benefited. You getting it? Self-centered attitude is diminished. This is amazing. You getting it? Self-centered is diminished. Okay, Rachel.
When we cherish others, automatically, aren't we fueling their self-centered attitude?
So when we cherish others, then are we?
Fueling.
Okay. When we cherish others, is it not the case that we are fueling others in self-centered attitude? Okay. So let's say that somebody is saying. Okay, let's say that what Rachel said, to some extent, yes, it can happen. To some extent, no. It entirely depends on the skillfulness of the individual. If you're not skilled, you can fuel somebody else's self-centered attitude. You're getting it? You can pamper the parents. They can pamper the children too much. The child eventually becomes 18 years old. Still, the child does not learn anything. Child does not even know how to prepare tea. Does not even know how to prepare hot water, coffee for yourself. Does not know. But some parents, they love their children so much that by the time the child becomes age 10, 12, they know how to cook food so effectively. They know how to study so well. They know discipline. So which means that when the skillfulness is there, love and affection with skillfulness, you will only bring benefit to others. It will not fuel others' self-centered attitude, it will diminish self-centered attitude in others. Whereas if you're unskilled, if you're compassionate, unskilled, you can fuel the others' self-centered attitude. Some children, they're so spoiled that the parents are doing everything, and the children, they take for granted what the parents are doing, and they shout at the parents. Something, little thing goes wrong, they shout at the parents and so forth. A disaster. Oftentimes this is because of the unskillfulness on the parents' side when raising the child. This is unskillful compassion. Okay, Jimmy, the last question.
Geshe-la, 2 parts of my curiosity. Is self-cherishing something you can extinguish?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, well then the second part, a Darwinist or a physiologist would say that self-cherishing
is very important.
It's
instinct.
It's an instinct.
Yes. Yes. So this is why I mentioned this in the class, that Darwinism, the evolutionary theorists, with their self-centered attitudes, selfish genes. It is in your genes. You're getting it? They call it selfish genes. It's in our genes. We can't do anything. Number one. Also, we require this. If you don't have the selfishness, you will perish. This is what they say. But they do it purely based on the physical assessment of the mutation of the physical body. They did not go into the mind. And Buddha did not go into the physical mutation, but go into mental mutation. So Buddha spoke at great length, and then whatever the Buddha taught us, experimented, see if it makes sense. So if it makes sense, that's amazing. That's amazing. But say what Charles Darwin said. So with physical body, I fully admire what Charles Darwin said, and His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I did remember many years ago said that what Charles Darwin said, there's no contradiction with what Charles Darwin said with respect to how the evolution happened with the physiology, with the body. So therefore, there's no contradiction. So when we talk about human evolution, we have to talk about the body as well as the mind. And Buddha talked primarily on the mind, and Charles Darwin talked primarily on the body.
So a good practitioner would be able to control that physiological response.
Okay, so basically the idea is that Charles Darwin would say that, okay, what Charles Darwin said, is it really the fact? This is, so we have to make the distinction between what the scientist found and what the scientist explains. These two must be distinguished. You're getting it? What the Newton found, discovered, and what Newton explains. Distinguish the two. These two are not the same. What Newton found, discovered, cannot be rejected. What Newton explained can be rejected. Because quantum physics came, relativity came, relativity theory came, and rejected the Newton's the theory that the relativity of space, not the relativity of time. Time is absolute. This was proven wrong. It was not, absoluteness of the time is not proven by Newton. He just said it, and that is proven wrong by Albert Einstein. So the relativity of space is proven by Newton, but the absoluteness of the time is not proven. He just explained. So we need to make distinction between what is explained and what is found. What is found, nobody can reject it. What is explained can be rejected. So Charles Darwin, talking about these things, self-centered attitude and so forth, that selfish gene and so forth, this is his explanation. It is not really proven. You're getting it? So we have to make this distinction. For example, like, say, the Homo sapiens, 0.3 million years ago, and now we're saying 0.5 million years ago. So this little bit of discrepancies are happening. So from there we can conjecture that is around 10,000, or like, what is that? Like say, okay, like 700,000 years, around there, 7,000 to like 300,000 years that Homo sapiens existed. This is what we can conjecture. And then anybody who says that this is not true, Homo sapiens lasts only like 5,000 years, and that's proven wrong. Because of the fossils, from the fossil we can see that. This is obvious. So these are the fine distinctions that we'll be able to make. Okay, we stop here. Okay, first, dedication prayer. Dedication prayer, page 52. I dedicate the marriage that's gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight, and all lives through the force of this marriage, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahāyāna vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, pursuing the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed, from working with after this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is planted in ignorance. Okay, so today is very sad news that this His Eminence Kandan Chisuru Rinpoche, they passed away this morning, and let us pray that he continues to come back in the form of reincarnation very swiftly, and to serve the Dharma, serve the sentient beings as much as how he did in this life. Let us pray that it happens as soon as possible, without any hindrance. Let's pray for that, and let us so this evening at 6 o'clock we have the Nalanda Diploma course. Okay, so this one, so please give me your brochure. So we'll distribute the brochures later on. This is a 5-year course just for information, and this is the Nalanda Diploma course what we did yesterday was this one, and what we're doing today at 6 o'clock is this one. 1.5, now it's like 1 year. 1 year course. And anybody who's interested, you can feel free to join this evening class. And then, okay, this is a different thing. So this is what just to inform you that this evening at 6 o'clock we have the NDC class. And then it's not going to be technical as what we did yesterday. You don't have to take risk. It's fine, you can come. Yeah. Anybody can join, you can just chill out. It's easy. Okay. With this mind, recite the Buddha mantra. And keep in mind, His Eminence Kanden Chisuru Rinpoche, let us pray that his reincarnation comes back as soon as possible to be of service to the Buddha, Dharma, and sentient beings as much as how he did in his life. And let us also pray the good health for all the enlightened masters who are serving the Buddha Dharma. And let's pray that all the Dharma centers, all the learning centers of the different traditions, from the Theravada tradition, Chinese tradition, Vietnamese tradition, or Japanese tradition, Tibetan tradition, within Tibetan tradition, Sakya, Kaikyu, Nyingma, Gelug, all these traditions, Chonang, Podong, Puten, let all these traditions thrive in the activities of teaching, the studies, the reflection and the meditation of the Bodhicitta of emptiness. And let's pray that all those people who are sick and ill, they recover as soon as possible. Let's pray that all those who passed away, and that they take birth to meet with the Buddha Dharma of the teaching of Bodhicitta and wisdom of emptiness, and that each one of them becomes such the light of the beacon of hope, aspiration, and teaching of compassion and wisdom to all the dim sentient beings. May the world be a better world. May the world be a peaceful world, where all these wars and so forth, they disappear as soon as possible. Bhagya Doje Shage Rizo Chon Shenge Mito Dege Bonjamba Sege Lembo Tabo Jebe Go Shage Gebo Kyoma Chase Lo Oh Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswa Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswa Ageto Je Shage Riso Chon Shenge Mito Ege Bonjaba Sege Lumo Tabo Jebe Go Shage Kela Chat Nelo Oh Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswa Om Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswa Age Tuje Shage Riso Chon Shenge Mito Ege Ponjomba Serge Lumo Tabo jebe go shage gebo kela chase do oh mone mone Mahamona Yeswa 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 Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswa